What's going on, guys? Owens Forum coming at you guys with another preview, another Lions game. Detroit Lions are going to Nashville, Tennessee to take on the Tennessee Titans. Lions coming in at 5-8, Tennessee 9-4. Lions are in fourth in their division. Tennessee Titans hold that number one spot in their division. Good football team, AFC South. Injury report, guys. I'll start with the Detroit Lions because that's how I like to do it with the road teams first. So offensive lineman Tyrell Crosby has an ankle. He is out as well. Wide receiver Kenny Golladay still hurt, man. Got that hip injury going on, out. D lineman Deshaun Hand with an ankle, out. Put on IR too as well. We'll talk about that in a bit. Cornerback Darrell Roberts has a hip thing going on. He is out as well. Center, our top five center, I think, in the NFL, Frank Ragnow's got a throat thing going on, has a fractured larynx. Happened in the Green Bay game last week, the first quarter, played through the whole game. Absolute warrior, but he is out for precautionary reasons. We can't take a chance with hurting him more. So he's out. Defensive tackle John Pennicini, the rookie out of Utah, has a shoulder thing going on, questionable, limited practice. Quarterback Matthew Stafford with a rib injury, horrific rib injury, a bad thumb injury. Questionable, limited practice, but as I'm hearing, he is in now. He is active. This kid is so tough. It's unbelievable. Should he be playing though? I don't think so. This kid just wants to win. Every hating Lion fan will tell you that it's just because he wants to up his numbers. I don't think that's it. I just think he wants to win for his club. He just wants to win. Believe it or not, this team is still in the hunt. I don't think they're making the playoffs, but they're in the hunt category. When you see that screen come up on playoff pictures and all that stuff, division leaders, you'll see Detroit Lions at the far right in the hunt. So they're still in it somehow. I don't think they're going to win, but they're in it. And with Matthew Stafford, he just doesn't. You have to shoot him in order for him not to play football. He's the toughest quarterback in the NFL. He just takes a licking, keeps on ticking, man. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable how much of a gamer he really is. He just wants to do good for his squad. But Lions fans can't take that. I don't think he should play because I'd like to salvage him to see what we want to do with him next year. But that's a whole other show. Now we got running back Adrian Peterson with a forearm injury, questionable. He was a full practice on Friday, so I could see him going. That shouldn't be an issue. Now the Tennessee Titans had a weird injury designation. There was like one guy, Kenny Vaccaro, had an illness, limited practice on Friday, but I don't think he's playing. I think he's the only one from what I've seen. They had offensive guard Roger Saffold with a toe. Didn't practice on Friday. I think he's going though. Tight end Jeff Swain had an ankle injury, limited practice. No designation on him either. And cornerback Adoree Jackson with a knee, limited practice. He is actually playing too as well. So they're pretty much they're not injury free because they do have a lot of injuries in the year. A lot of guys in the IR. You know what I mean? But for this active game, they pretty much got everybody that they need to play, except for Vaccaro. But their secondary situation is pretty banged up. We'll get to that in a bit. But with news and notes, guys, that we had, like I said, Deshaun Hand got put on the IR, of course. That's our young D lineman, our young versatile D lineman that we have had high hopes for since his rookie campaign. Had a really nice rookie campaign. And then he's been banged up ever since. Always hurt, can never stay healthy. Back on IR, of course, and you can't even evaluate him, what's going on. So I don't know what's going to happen with him next year, but he's done for the season. He'll be done for the season because you can be on IR for 3 weeks minimum, and we got 3 more games left, so he's done. Then we signed offensive tackle Dan Skipper from practice squad to the active roster. We had a couple injuries going on we got some injuries going on our O-line with Crosby and Ragnow, so we had to sign somebody. Dan Skipper got the call up from the practice squad. He's on the active roster. Then we activated right tackle Halapula Vaitai, call him Big V. I still have trouble saying that name, from the IR for return. He should be back. He should be playing right tackle today, but we'll see how he is because he's been banged up all year too as well. So he plays, gets hurt, gets hurt. Then we elevated cornerback Alex Myers from the practice squad to the active roster. Then we signed punter Aaron Sipos to the practice squad. Don't ask. Don't know why. Then we signed running back Jordan Scarlett to the practice squad as well. Then we also elevated guys like defensive end Kareem Martin, who won't be dressed today, but he got elevated to the roster. And offensive lineman Marcus Martin, who could get some playing time today because of all the injuries going on. I'll talk about that in a bit when we get to the O-line part. Now let's go on to the team rankings, guys. We'll start off with the Lions. Offense first, yards a game, 351.5 yards a game total. Puts us at 20th. We rush for only 90.3 yards per game. We'll put us at 30th. We just don't have a rushing game, even though I love DeAndre Swift. And I like the addition of Adrian Peterson, but we don't have a running game. We pass for 261.2 yards a game. A, because we can't run the ball, and B, because I think we have a good quarterback in Matthew Stafford. I think he's a really good quarterback. That puts us at 8th, so we're top 10 throwing the football. Quarterback is not the situation in Detroit. I know people want a new quarterback, and I'm kind of on that board as well. But this defense is the main problem. But Stafford's time could be coming up. You're hearing more and more about Stafford not wanting to be in Detroit, but just not ready for a rebuild. He wants to go to a team that's going to win now. And I think he deserves that, man. He's been here 12, 13 years, so it might be time to part ways. And that'll be tough for me, man, because I'm a huge Stafford guy. I am. I just think this organization has done him wrong. That's a whole other show. Now, for points, guys, we score 23.8 points a game, puts us at 18th, just a little bit below average. Should be better, but like I said, a lot of injuries, too, to the O-line, a lot of injuries to the wide receiving core, all that stuff. So, other hard defense, and I might vomit as I'm talking about our defense, so don't freak out, guys. But there might be a little bit of vomiting going on. Our defense, 396.7. We give up yards per game. That puts us at 29th, bottom of the barrel right there. Teams rush for 132.8 yards against us. That puts us at 28th. Teams throw for 263.8 yards against us. Puts us at 27th. So they kill us in the passing game as well. And we give up 29.9 points per game. It puts us at 29th. Defense is awful from top to bottom. We have maybe one or two good players on that defense. Maybe a couple more, but it's not enough. It's just not enough. The defense is awful. It needs a whole new rebuild on that defense. Now on to the Titans offense. Now this is a fun offense, guys. Yards per game, they put up 394.5 yards per game, puts them at number 2. They rush for 157.8, puts them at number 2 as well there, because King Henry is just a man amongst boys. They only pass for 236.7, it puts them at 19th. That's not because Ryan Tannehill's a bad quarterback. I don't really think he's a bad quarterback. He's safe, He's not the most accurate guy. He's kind of like Stafford. You know what I mean? I think they got this pretty much the same passing completion percentage this year. So he's not the most accurate guy in the world, but he's capable. He's safe. He can run around a bit. So, but they only pass for 236.7, puts them at 19th. So that's because their run game is just so friggin' good. You know what I mean? That's one of the big reasons. And then their points, they score 30 points a game, but puts them at top 5, puts them at 4 overall. So they score a lot of points. Their offense is fun to watch, guys, especially when Derrick Henry's going. It's just they're unstoppable on the ground. Now their defense isn't that great. Okay, the defense isn't great. It's not as worse as ours, but it's nothing great. They give up 387.5 yards a game, puts them at 26. You can kind of rush on this team too. They give up 113.8 on the ground, puts them at 14th, so it's a little bit better than average. You can throw for a lot on these guys. They give up 273.6 yards per game, puts them at 29th. So Stafford should have a day against them. And then points they give up, 25.8, puts them at 21. So their defense is nothing really to cry home about. They don't really have a lot of playmakers on that defense. They got some guys that get to the quarterback, even though they don't rush the quarterback great. They got a couple guys that can get to the quarterback. But they're vulnerable. You can score on these guys. You can do some things with these guys. So it's going to be really interesting to see, because we got guys banged up. They got guys banged up. It's going to be really interesting. Now let's go on, guys, to the matchup analysis. This is where I like to just compare the quarterbacks, the running backs, wide receivers. down the line, and I just like to talk about the game as I'm going along. Now, Matthew Stafford, he's having a pretty good year. Nothing great though. Nothing, you know what I mean? He's probably giving up too many sacks himself. He's probably throwing a little bit too many picks, but that's what he does. He's having an okay year. I'm not gonna say he's having a good year, but his percentages, pass completions at 64%. Not bad, not good. You want it to be a little bit higher, in my opinion. But he's playing banged up this week, and I don't really know what's going to happen with him. He's wearing a flak jacket. He's taking a shot and some injection blocker that he has to take. It's going to be tough to see. If something happens to him, Chase Daniel's coming in. So it's going to be interesting. Versus Ryan Tannehill. Now Ryan Tannehill is a guy that's got a lot of good weapons around him. He's got two really good wide receivers around him. Got a decent tight end, John Smith, Anthony Ferkser, I think his name is, and Brown and Corey Davis, like I said, and then the beast behind him, Derrick Henry. So I'm going to give the slight edge to the Tennessee Titans here. I think both quarterbacks are pretty even, but Tannehill, he doesn't go crazy on the ground, but he's very capable of running with the football. You got to remember, he was a former wide receiver, so he's very capable of running the football. He's a good scrambler, and he can throw on the run. So I'm going to give the slight edge to the Tennessee Titans. Sorry, Mr. Stafford. Sorry I did that to you, big fella. Now on to the running backs, guys. We'll start off with us again. We got DeAndre Swift, Adrian Peterson, Kerryon Johnson, fullback Jonathan Kabinda, who just catches ball here or there, might run for 1 yard. Pretty much useless, I think. And then you got Jonathan Williams, who I think they need to use a little bit more, but they don't. Versus their guys, you know who I'm talking about. King Henry in the building. Derrick Henry, absolute monster. This man gets stronger as they go. By quarter, it's unbelievable. And then they got Jeremy McNichols. Then they got fullback Kahari Blasingame, and then Deonta Foreman. I'm going to give the edge to the Tennessee Titans, obviously the check mark, just because of Derrick Henry alone. He's better than anything we have, even close to anything we have over there on our side. And it's going to be fun and excruciating to watch at the same time what Derrick Henry does to our defense. You know what I mean? It's going to be like wow, and then more vomiting again. Like I'll go back to the vomiting. Might be more of it. Now on to the wide receivers, guys. We got Marvin Jones Jr., Danny Amendola, Mohamed Sanu Sr., Quintez Cephas, the rookie out of Wisconsin, who I really like, then Jamal Agnew, this experimental wide receiving thing. Now we got Galladay out again. You guys know that. Surprise. 7th game in a row, I think, for him. 7 game in a row. Missed a total of 9 games, 9 or 10 so far in the season. He's only played like 3 or 4. So he wants big money. He says he's not. He actually says he's not hurt. He says he's not faking this injury. This is not a business decision that he says he's doing. He says he's legitimately hurt. I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. Nothing I can do but believe it. You know what I mean? But this hip injury, man, come on. Like, how bad is it? But whatever, man. It's all speculation on my part. I'm going to give the man the benefit of the doubt. But on to their wide receivers. They got A.J. Brown. I call this kid Baby T.O. He is literally Baby T.O., man. He reminds me so much of Terrell Owens. Then they got Corey Davis, who's finally turning it on this year, having some big years, having some big games, looking really good out there. He's kind of a little bit inconsistent at times, but when he's on, he's on. Then they got Cameron Batson. Then you got Nick Westbrook, Akeen, and then Cody Hollister, who you might see because you got a couple injuries going on as well in their wide receiving core. But I'm giving the overall check mark to the Tennessee Titans here. So I love I love A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. I think they're better than anything we got over there. Now on to the O-line. We got left tackle Taylor Decker, left guard Jonah Jackson. Center, don't know who's playing center. This could be a shuffle all game. As of right now, when I go to ourlads.com, it has Marcus Martin as our center. Marcus Martin just called it from the practice squad, but you could see Joe Dahl go there. You could see Jonah Jackson move over, or you can see Logan Stenberg finally make an appearance. I don't really know what's going to happen. I'm going to have to check that out when the game starts. Now, Ode Ibushi at right guard as of now, and then right tackle Big V's playing there. The big acquisition we got from the Philadelphia Eagles and paid a lot of money to, and he's been hurt a lot of the year, and he can't pass block. So he's playing right tackle. So he's back. Now their guys, they got David Quisenberry at left tackle. You know, they got Taylor Lewan, their Pro Bowl left tackle, Michigan Wolverines, by the way. He's playing left tackle for them. Roger Saffold's their left guard. Their center is Ben Jones, right guard Nate Davis, and right tackle Dennis Kelly, from what I read. Now I'm going to give the edge to the Tennessee Titans here again. Seems to be a clean sweep so far. They run the ball better. They protect probably a little bit better, I would say, and they're just, I think, an all-around better unit. They're just an all-around better unit. King Henry does a lot of it on his own, but you still have to have a good O-line, and I think that O-line get the slight check mark in the Tennessee Titans. Now on to the defense, guys. We'll start with us, guys, because we're on the road again. Like I said, we got Romeo Okwara, our defensive end, who's up and down all year, gets to the quarterback, can play some defense, but he needs to be better. Nick Williams, defensive tackle. John Pennicini, a guy that's been banged up for the last few games, but he's been in there. Austin Bryant, you got Kevin Strong, you got Frank Herron. Now, I thought Kareem Martin was going to be up for this game. He got activated, but he's not playing. He's not active. He's not dressed. Which I thought was a little bit weird because they don't have any depth, this team. I talk about it every friggin' week, man. No depth. You got Flowers out. You got Griffin out still on this COVID thing. At least the O was next to his name today. I thought for sure he'd be back. He was out last week because of this, but he's out again. Danny Shelton, Deshaun Hanna on IR, Julian Okwara, the rookie that we were all looking forward to seeing. We haven't really seen him. All out. So I don't know where this depth is coming from. I don't know where this production is going to come from. We don't have anybody on this D line that are starting. Like who's gonna sub in for Okwara or Austin Bryant at defensive end? This guy's gonna play every snap on the D line. It's unbelievable that they just can't pick guys up. On to their D line, they got Harold Landry, the third, former first round pick. Defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons, who I like a lot. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones. Defensive end Jack Crawford. Defensive tackle Matt Dickerson. Defensive end Derek Robertson. Defensive tackle Tierra Tart. And then linebacker, defensive end kind of Nate Orchard. A guy that used to be a high draft pick for the Houston Texans. And Tennessee scooped him off the practice squad. And he's probably activated today. Now I'm going to give the check mark to the Tennessee Titans again on this one because I don't see where our production's coming from. Okwara is the only guy I really, really trust. I like Pennicini. I just haven't seen enough from Bryant. I haven't seen enough from Kevin Strong. Even though those guys put out 110% effort. Nick Williams, I think, was a huge bust signing. I liked it when we first got it, but he's got one sack in 14, 15 games. He's not doing anything. So I'm going to give the slight edge to the Tennessee Titans here. Now, on to the linebackers. We got Jamie Collins Sr., Reggie Ragland, Christian Jones, Jelani Tavai, Jared Davis, Miles Killebrew, and Jalen Reeves-Maben. Household names right there, right, guys? Man, don't hold your breath on those guys. Now, Collins Sr. is probably our best guy. Ragland's only a two-down linebacker. Christian Jones is useless, I think. Jelani Tavai has played a bit better the last couple of weeks, but he's a bad pick. He's a bad linebacker, second-round pick. Just not good. Jared Davis he's become a bust. Now I can fully call him a bust. And then we got Killebrew and Maben, who are both special teams guys. Both special team aces. Play well on special teams, by the way. But their linebacking crew over there is not very good either. Rashad Evans, David Long Jr., Will Compton, Nick Dubnar, and then Darren Bates. Now, there's nothing to write home about in Tennessee about that linebacking crew. It's not that good. So I'm literally going to give the check mark to the Detroit Lions. Woohoo! Finally got a check mark. I just think they have slightly better linebackers over in Detroit. And that's saying something, man. That's saying something because our linebacking crew is pus. Pure pus. So we barely get the check mark, but hey, at least we got one. Now versus the DBs, guys, and that'll be the it for that segment. We got Tracy Walker, Deron Harmon, J-Ron Curse, Amani Oruwariye, Will Harris, Justin Coleman, Michael Ford, C.J. Moore, special teams guy, plays safety. Bobby Price, another special teams safety guy. Then cornerback Alex Myers got called up from the practice squad. We'll see what he's got. I don't expect too much from him. But we're banged up in the secondary. Okudah, Roberts, Trufant, all out. Been like that for a bit. Okudah, our first-round pick out of Ohio State, has struggled all year, but he's shown some flashes that he's good, and he's shown some flashes that he's not ready as well. So, but we're banged up in the secondary big time. Versus their guys, they're banged up too, man. They got cornerback safety Joshua Kalu, cornerback Ty Smith, cornerback Kareem Orr, then cornerback Chris Milton, and then cornerback Adoree Jackson, who's been in the league for a little bit. He's in as well. I think it's his first game this year for 2020 back. So he's like a special team. He's a punt returner / returner. Nothing special as a corner, but he's got some wheels to him. Now they got Vaccaro, Borders, Christian Fulton, their rookie out of LSU, who's out, and then Jackson, all out. So they got some banged up secondary too. Now I'm going to give the slight edge. This is tough. I'm going to give the slight edge to the. Let me see here. I'm going to give the slight edge to the Detroit Lions just a bit. I think they have maybe a couple more playmakers. In my opinion, I just think they're a little bit better coverage guys out of the safety position and out of the cornerback position. I just think we're a little bit better. It's not by much though, guys. It's a slight edge. It's a slight edge Detroit Lions. Now, I'm not going to pick the score just yet. I'm going to tell you how we got to win this football game. How we're going to win this football game, and it's going to be real tough. It's going to be real tough for the Detroit Lions to win this football game because I always try to say, you know what I mean? You got to protect the quarterback, obviously, okay? But now it's do or die with this quarterback. We have a quarterback that's literally on one leg, okay? Stafford's always been banged up now the last couple years. At the end of the years, he's always been, now he's really banged up. His ribs are jacked. He can barely turn. He's on pills, he's on meds, he's on whatever. You know what I mean? He's on an injection blocker to block the pain. His cartilage is literally ripped off his bone. Okay? Now you got to protect him more than ever. So we're going to see how he throws the football. For one, his velocity is probably going to be way down. Velocity is going to be way down, so I expect a lot of short passes. I expect Hawkinson to be big in this game. I don't know how comfortable they're going to be throwing the ball deep. Now, Tennessee, they got to get after him. I'd be all up blitzing him all day. I'd be in his face, blitzing him all day, but that's on Tennessee. We have trouble running the football, but you can kind of run on this team. You kind of run on them. But we just don't have a good running game. We don't stick with it. We don't stick with it enough. So this is going to be a game to win this game on offense. On our side, Stafford's going to have to be on point. They're going to have to protect him. And you're going to have to try to establish some type of running game. If you don't, you're done. It's just that easy. You don't, you're done. So you got to do that. There's so much to do. Defensively, no. Defensively, I've given up on this team defensively. Okay, I've completely given up on them defensively. We're going up against a guy, Derrick Henry, who's 6'3", 245 pounds. Okay. He's a linebacker running with the football, with speed, who can break away and rip off an 80-yard, 90-yard touchdown, which he's done in the past. Okay? And nobody wants to tackle this kid. Nobody does. Nobody wants to tackle him because he's a force, and he will put you into next Tuesday if you take him head on. So I can't see it. I'm not even going to say we need to slow him down. We do. We need to stop him, but we really need to slow him down. I can't see it. I can't see it. Can it happen? Hey, miracles happen. It's Christmas, baby. Anything can happen, right? But I don't see it. I really don't see it. So I'm more worried about if their passing game gets going too as well, then we just don't have a chance. You know what I mean? If you're not going to stop the run, which I don't think you're going to, try to get to, you have to try to get to Tannehill. You got to somehow lock up A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. Corey Davis is a little bit inconsistent at times, but when he's on, he's on. He's no joke. He's no joke. He's finally turned it on after about a few, 3-4 years in the league now, I don't want to say disappointing football, but I guess you can say disappointing from a Tennessee Titans point of view. He's been kind of disappointing, but he's turning it on this year. He's really turning it on this year. He's had some monster games. He's a good wide receiver, but they have an excellent one in A.J. Brown. I love this kid. And I actually need you, A.J. Brown, today for fantasy. So sorry, Lions fans. Shh. I do need you to get about 100. I do need you to get about 100 plus and maybe 6-7 catches with maybe a touchdown, maybe two. But I still want the Lions to win. I do, but I just need you to go off, my man. All right. Sorry, Lions fans. Live with it. But that's it, man. Defensively, it's just, you know what? Throw your hat in the ring. See what happens. Throw your body at somebody, see what happens. Because this defense just doesn't make plays. They don't make plays. I say it every week, man. It's like a broken record. They don't sack the quarterback. We don't intercept the football. We don't force fumbles or fumble recovery. We don't make stops. We just don't do it. We've done it like 4 games this year. Like pretty much every game we've won, our defense has helped. Pretty much. You know what I mean? And that's how it should be in the NFL. It should be a two-way street. It should be just on one unit. Like, it shouldn't just be on the quarterback and that offense. It should be on everybody. But we have such a delusional fan base that we just blame it on one person. This is really strange. It's really weird. Like, it's whatever, man. I'm ranting again. I'm going off the rails. But that's it, guys. That's how you got to beat this team. You got to somehow get to Tannehill. Slow him down at least. He can be slowed down because he's nothing special. But he's not bad either. He's not a bad quarterback. I'm not dissing Ryan Tannehill because he's actually a good quarterback. But they got really good weapons. They also I didn't go through the tight ends too, guys. We got T.J. Hawkinson. I forgot to do that. T.J. Hawkinson and Jesse James versus their guys, Jonnu Smith and Anthony Ferguson. I'm going to give the edge to our guy, tight end, T.J. Hawkinson, because he's a monster. Threw that in late, guys. Sorry, guys. I forgot to write that down. Just remembered it in my head right there. But that's how you got to win this football game, guys. It's gonna be a tough one. I just don't see the Lions winning. Here's my prediction for the score, guys. 37-24, Tennessee. I think Derrick Henry's gonna be too much, and then A.J. Brown's gonna cause a little damage, and Corey Davis might as well. So it's just gonna be a really hard game to win. This is a good football team. They're not great defensively, Tennessee, but they can put points on the board, and that's what you have to do to win games in the NFL. It's a scoring league, so they score over 30. It's going to be really tough for us to score over 30. So I got 37-24 Tennessee, guys. All right, guys. So thanks for the video. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit notification bell, get all my videos, like and subscribe, comment, negative or positive, doesn't care. I'll come back at you with as much as I can. That's why I love to do this. I love to talk about football in general, get the feedback from everybody. Right, guys, have a good game. Go Lions. Boom.